Peace and love, everybody. Peace and love. We're there in a Easter weekend, and a lot of checkpoints about. I passed a lot of checkpoints just there for the past few days. And as I pass the checkpoints, I see people that get tickets after tickets. I see people that scratch their head, hold their head, then they rail up with the officers there. And people very upset, that they have to pay a lot of tickets right now, and feel like the government the chance to them. You have to understand that when you take your private property, you get your car, and you register it, they want to give you a plate, not like this. They want to give you another plate where say Belize, right? And then they give numbers. Now that one identifier, that one identification for this property right there. So when you register your property with government of Belize, under the law, what you just do, you just hand over your property and hand over rights to that property. And what the government of Belize do is that they want to create one title, and they want to make themselves legal title holders. Meaning, no, they could legally stop you, harass you, and give you a ticket because you actually the hold for them property. Now if you see my property right here, if you look on it, nowhere right there say government of Belize, right? That don't belong to them. If it may belong to them, then could have stopped me off for them workers, for them employees, police officer, transport. Then could stop and harass all day long because of them property. When you register your property with them, it now becomes their property, and when they give it back to you, they take care of somebody else's property. And because you take care of it, they could stop you anytime. That's just how the law works. You get into a contract with them. Then got one social and public contract, which they offer the people, and it's called the Motor Vehicle and Road Traffic Act. And they offer that to the people because they're not the public trustees. They need to take care of the public spaces and the public roads. They need to do that because most people inconsiderate. Most people don't know how to obey the law. Most people don't know how to be honorable. Most people don't know how to be responsible. A lot of people drink and drive, right? A lot of people go behind or use this type of car right here and get intoxicated and then do silliness. So the public trustees are necessary because the people don't know how to govern and be responsible to themselves. So they have to be involved and then put themselves as public officers and public trustees. Now, whenever we register any property with public trustees, we have to express our will. We have to do it. Meaning, like, let's say I give this car to somebody, right? I just go and I give it to my cousin. And without me telling nothing, I just hand over the keys and everything, and I left and I go to States. Now my cousin, they're like, he's shocked. They say, what go on here? I don't know what to do with this. I could use it, I know if use it, I could use it to make money, I could sell it, I could rent it. What I could do with this? Because I never give no instructions. Well, he have to do whatever he can do to make the best out of it. But if I'm given instructions, obviously, then you know what, Woulda, you could use this. If you rent it out, well, I want a portion of that. If you make any money out of it, any interest out of it, well, me as the owner, I want some of that. You could use some of that money where you make for take care of the vehicle, for take care of the car, for change the tires, put the gas, all of that. So you have an agreement with the individual you left your property to. It's very same thing when you register your property. That's the way you do it. You hand it over to the public trustees. And if you not express your will, if you not express it, then what then do is then create one implied trust, because then they receive property from you and you didn't trust them with it. So that creates something called trust. You should look it up, Google it. Trust law. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that subject. So when you hand over property, obviously, you have to hand over the rights to the property, meaning that if I hand this to my cousin, I want to make my cousin be able to deal with this as if that's his car, if in case he gains some issues with the car. So I have to hand over the rights to it too. You see how that works? So when we register for we property like this, we get one certificate of title and then keep the title. And under law, in a banking, you could actually use title as property and put it in the bank and draw money out of it. So title, the property, you can monetize property. So when we hand over free property, that the way they happen, and when we get it back, we get a certificate of title and we get one driver's license. Why? Because on driver's license, that basically permission to use this property now. So when you hand over your property, it becomes their property. Now then give it back to you with permission to be one employer, and then give you the title as a driver. For who? The government. So because of that, now the government employees, police officers, transports, whatnot, then could point out or then could stop anyone who they use government property. They're like this. Think about it like this. Think about BSI, right? BSI is a big company. They got a big piece of land, and they got for the one security officers. So when you're in a BSI and you're a FEDEN employee, you have to abide by FEDEN rules. FEDEN rules, that's your law, because you consent to it, right? If you're a FEDEN employee. So if you did drive wrong in a FEDEN property, well, you better have proof that you have permission for drive. If you don't want driver for BSI, not like that. But if you the use for them property, then could govern you, then could tell you what to do, right? Now, let us say you know work for BSI, you just did a visit. Obviously, for them rules not apply to you in that manner unless you consent to it. And BSI can make rules only within the boundaries and confines of for them company. Can't make rules and laws for people outside of the company, because they're not one corporation. No matter how big they're big. Same thing is with the government, I believe. They're one big corporation, no matter how big it's big. And FEDEN rules apply to them, not for people outside of the corporation. So what then do is very, very smart, is then create all of their rules, all of their laws under the substantive laws of Belize, and then create acts to perform for the public trustees and officers and entities who are affiliated or governed by the corporation. So all these acts right there, when they issue out, what they do is then conveniently trick people into believing that for them laws. And what they do is then convert us into employees or trustees of some way. As long as then give we property for make we hold on to, and we the mind for them property, we become trustees. So we become employees. So that's why how we fall under then laws. But once you understand how this game work, once you understand what our corporate law and what the real laws of the land, what you understand legal versus lawful, then you start to see things a little bit different. Now this is no legal advice. You didn't take it for legal advice. I just basically present to you something to make you think about reality, you know? Because I got almost a year right now to travel, and I pass checkpoints all the time. I know they broke the law. I know I don't have for them property. I don't have a contract with them in regards to this, and I make it very clear that this is private, and then the public, And if they want to come into private property, no problem, then just have to pay the fee. And if they do come into private property, they're agreeing to the terms and conditions which I already set forth. And that's why I give them proper notice. So it's like if you have a piece of land, and if you don't have it fenced and you don't have no sign, no notice saying no trespass, people go in there anytime, any day. You might have fruit trees in there and then they take all of your fruits, but you don't have no sign. But if you put that sign, you put that notice, do not trespass. Trespassers will be, shot on sight or something, whatever you want to put. You give formal notice. And that is abiding to the law. Now, yes, you could do something, right? Now, yes, you say anybody with trespass right there will get catch. Hey, you are owed $10,000, $500, or whatever. And if you come in here, you agree to the terms. So when you go to court, all you have to do is that present the notice, the terms and conditions which this individual, the trespasser, accepted, and the court now have to enforce the contract, because that's what courts do, enforce contracts. Think about it. You to travel in a registered property that belong to government, and they stop you because you don't got a seat belt, or you got a broken light. You never hurt nobody, you never damage no property. But then carry to court, you have to pay a ticket. Why? Why? Because you breached the contract. You have a contract with them. You signed that you're an employee and you work for them. You have a driver's license. You have for them property. You have a contract. So they could take you to court legally, because they're the rightful legal title holders of the property, and you're just a trustee and you don't know the law. You don't know your rights. You don't know how to use rights. Even if you have it, you don't know how to use it. So it is best that you try to understand the system where they're in today. Try to understand where they happen exactly. Look at the situation where they happen right now. Try to understand what are the difference between law and legal. Try to get you on law dictionary. And try just ask more questions and think about it. These are just some recommendations. All you hear right now, they're just opinions from me, a man. I tell you enough what to do, how to do it. As I said, this is what I learned so far. I just share with you my experiences through life, and that's it. Now I tell you none of you know what to do. But like I said, I got one whole year to do this with this car like this, and I have 2 cars, and I honor the law in the sense that when I travel, I don't want to cause no harm. I know they get drunk. I know they travel and drink. I know got no mal intent. And if I ever do get into an accident, you better believe I want to own up to it and take responsibilities, and I will pay if I have to pay. I want to fix it, because I need to make sure that I know they harm nobody. I know my intention. You see what I'm saying? So keep this in mind. Just to let them know. Peace and love to everyone. Bless.